Okay, let's dive in. Imagine this. A world where artificial intelligence isn't just crunching data, but actually helps governments get back billions in unpaid taxes.
Right.
And not by being heavy-handed, but by sort of encouraging people to comply.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's really happening right now in India. And it feels like a genuine game changer we should explore today.
Yeah, what's really fascinating, I think, is how India's managed to blend this, really advanced digital tech with an approach that still feels quite human-centric.
Okay.
So we're going to try and unpack the mechanics behind it, see how it works, and what it might mean for, well, digital governance more broadly.
So our mission here for you listening is to really pull out the key ideas from the sources we've looked at, show you how these AI tools are actually working on the ground, the kind of results they're getting, which are pretty staggering, and maybe ask why this model could be, a blueprint for other countries too.
Yeah.
You should walk away with a much clearer picture of this, well, quite innovative way of handling tax compliance.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The sheer scale of it.
Mm-hmm.
India's income tax department, using these AI tools, they've identified non-compliance that led to, get this, over 11,000 crore in extra tax revenue.
Yeah.
Just from updated returns. And that's over the last 4 years, roughly 2021 to 2024-25.
And just to put that in perspective, 11,000 crore rupees, that's something like 1.3 billion US dollars, right? A crore being 10 million rupees.
It's a huge amount, yeah, whichever way you slice it.
And if you look at the bigger picture here, it's not just about the cash, though that's significant. It signals this, massive shift in how taxpayers are behaving.
How so?
Well, these tools have prompted over 1 crore people, that's 10 million taxpayers, to either file returns, maybe for the first time, or to go back and revise the ones they already submitted.
Wow, 10 million people changing their behavior.
Exactly. And on top of that, just in the last financial year, 2024-25, the system also helped uncover 29,000 crore in hidden foreign assets.
Seriously?
Yeah. And another 1,000 crore in foreign income from things like, virtual digital assets, crypto and stuff.
That's incredible. So, okay, what does this tell us about how governments could maybe tackle compliance differently?
Mm-hmm.
And, how does this AI actually work? What's under the hood?
Right. So at the heart of it is what they call a hybrid AI model.
Hybrid,
Meaning it's not just one single algorithm doing everything. It likely combines different AI techniques, maybe machine learning to spot complex, subtle patterns, mixed with more traditional, maybe rule-based systems to make sure everything aligns with tax law. It makes the whole system more robust, more adaptable.
Got it.
And it looks at a whole range of things. Past tax payment patterns, weird anomalies in transactions, flags, unusually high-value activities people are involved in. And all this intelligence is plugged into their main processing systems, like the Centralized Processing Center, the CPC in Bengaluru.
Right, the CPC. That's the big engine that processes millions of returns automatically, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's the perfect place to integrate this AI capability.
And the sheer amount of data it must be churning through. It's got to be enormous.
So absolutely. Think about the annual information statement, the AIS.
Right.
It's generated for something like 40 crore unique taxpayers. That's 400 million people.
400 million?
Yeah.
But wait, the number of people who actually file tax returns is much lower, isn't it?
That's the crucial point. Historically, only about 9 crore, maybe 90 million are actual filers.
So you've got this huge gap. 31 crore people, 310 million, who have financial activity recorded but aren't necessarily filing.
Precisely. And that's where the AI really focuses. It tries to identify those potential non-filers within that huge group.
Okay.
But it's not just about if they filed. It's also checking the accuracy of the returns that were filed and looking for people who seem to be, habitually defaulting.
Which then raises that big question, doesn't it? How do you actually engage with those, 310 million potential non-filers or the inaccurate filers without just seeming overly aggressive or invasive?
Yeah, exactly. How do you do it without making everyone feel like Big Brother is suddenly scrutinizing their bank account? That's always the balancing act with this kind of tech.
Because tax compliance, let's be honest, often brings up feelings of fear or maybe just annoyance. So how did they manage to flip that script, make it less about punishment, more about, helping people comply?
That's where this NDGB approach comes in. It's really clever.
NUDGE. Okay, what's that stand for?
It stands for non-intrusive usage of data to guide and enable.
Non-intrusive. Guide and enable. Okay, sounds different already.
It is. The core idea isn't to immediately slap someone with an audit notice or a penalty. Instead, it's about using the AI's findings to send out these, well, intelligent prompts.
Prompts, like a text message.
Exactly. Or an email sent directly to taxpayers where the system suspects some underreporting or maybe just an error. It's framed as more of an invitation.
An invitation
to voluntarily check their records, update their return if needed, or maybe explain the discrepancy if there's a valid reason. It's designed to sort of preserve dignity while still ensuring accountability.
Huh. So less "we caught you" and more, "hey, maybe double check this."
Pretty much. Think about getting a helpful little message pointing out a possible mismatch versus getting that formal, slightly scary letter in the mail. It completely changes the tone of the interaction.
It seems almost counterintuitive for a tax authority, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Usually you expect more enforcement, stricter penalties.
Right.
Well, this sounds gentler.
It is, and it seems to have worked. The government actually responded to how effective this was by extending the time limit for updating returns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they doubled it. Taxpayers can now update returns for up to 4 years back, where I think it used to be just 2.
So the logic is, if the system finds a potential issue, give people a fair chance, a decent window to fix it themselves.
Exactly. Give them a statutory window to correct things without facing immediate, punitive consequences. It really shifts the focus towards enabling compliance, building a bit more trust.
And you said this change in approach, this NDGE strategy, directly led to those big numbers we mentioned earlier.
That's the link, yes. That behavioral shift seems to be behind the 1 crore 10 million updated returns filed.
And the 11,000 crore in additional revenue collected between 2021 and 2024-25.
Correct. It suggests that maybe a lot of people actually want to be compliant, or at least aren't deliberately trying to evade. They just need a clear, non-threatening way to get things right if they've made a mistake.
Makes sense. It's easier to fix something if you're not immediately scared of the consequences.
Absolutely. And this NDGE thing isn't just some abstract theory. They've applied it in very specific campaigns.
Like what? Could you give an example?
Sure. Earlier this year, between January and March 2025, they ran a specific campaign looking at tax deductions claimed under Section 80GGC.
80GGC, that's for donations to political parties, right?
That's the one. So what the department did was use the AI to cross-verify the deductions taxpayers were claiming against the official disclosures that the political parties themselves made to the Election Commission.
Connecting the dots.
Exactly. But they were apparently quite careful to do it in a way that didn't, unnecessarily bother or harass people who had made genuine donations and claimed them correctly.
Okay, so precision targeting.
Yeah.
And what were the results of that specific campaign?
Pretty significant. Out of about 6.25 lakh taxpayers who received a nudge, that's 625,000 people, around 35,260 ended up revising their tax returns.
Wow.
And that revision brought in an additional 404.2 crore in tax just from that one targeted campaign on political donations.
That is striking, the precision of it. Not a blanket audit, but a very specific nudge based on data matching.
Precisely. And it shows the approach works even in potentially sensitive areas like political funding.
And what about newer things like crypto? You mentioned that earlier.
Yes, that's another interesting area. The department also reported that in the 2024-25 financial year, over 1,000 crore related to crypto income and other foreign income was voluntarily disclosed by taxpayers after this kind of AI-backed surveillance started.
Voluntarily disclosed.
Yeah.
Suggesting the system's presence, even if gentle, encourages transparency.
It certainly seems that way. It shows the AI isn't just finding past errors, but its surveillance capability might also be effective in pushing for compliance in these, emerging digital asset areas, which are often really tough to track otherwise.
Okay, so pulling back a bit, what does all this mean for the kind of global picture of tax governance? Is India setting a new standard here?
Well, it certainly looks like it's becoming a really interesting benchmark. This combination of, powerful AI analytics on one side and this soft enforcement or behavioral nudge approach on the other side, it's quite unique and seems very effective.
The CBDT chairman, Ravi Agrawal, was quoted saying something similar, that the AI isn't just about catching fraud, it's fundamentally about enabling compliance.
Right, and restoring trust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Restoring trust and ultimately strengthening digital governance, which is huge for a democracy the size of India.
So the lesson for other countries might be this blend, tech plus psychology almost.
I think so. It's that blend of having the robust data infrastructure and analytical capability, yes, but combining it with insights from behavioral science, like nudging, instead of just relying on the traditional stick of audits and penalties. It needs both the tech and a commitment to designing the system around the citizen.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? How technology can reshape these, well, traditionally quite rigid government functions.
Yeah.
Not just making them more efficient, which is often the focus, but actually making them potentially better at fostering trust and engaging citizens more positively.
And why should you listening care about this? Well, I think because this model points towards a future where digital tools could make complex, often unpopular systems like taxation feel a bit fairer, maybe more transparent, and ultimately more efficient for everyone involved, both the government and us, the taxpayers.
Sure.
So just to quickly recap, we've seen how India's AI-driven NDGE strategy has managed to recover billions in tax revenue. It's encouraged over 10 million taxpayers to update or file returns. And it's even getting a handle on complex new areas like crypto income and things like political donation claims.
All through these intelligent, relatively non-intrusive digital prompts.
Exactly.
Yeah, this mix of really sophisticated data analysis with a focus on voluntary compliance, on building trust. It does feel genuinely pioneering.
It really challenges the old way of thinking about tax enforcement, which so often defaults to audits, penalties, confrontation.
It does, and it leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? What if the future of governing, not just taxes, but other areas too, isn't solely about creating stricter rules and harsher punishments?
But instead,
it's about developing smarter, maybe more empathetic digital nudges. Tools that subtly guide and empower citizens to, well, essentially do the right thing on their own. Could that be a more effective path long term?